Hi friends, welcome to NetTalks Tamil.
What is a routing? Where routing is required. The routing is required when we need to communicate two different networks. For enabling routing, we need a router or any L3 device. Without that, we cannot do routing. We need any L3 device or router for enabling routing. In the routing, if you take, okay, we have static routing and dynamic routing. Let me put a chart here. Under the routing, we have two different parts. One is static, one is dynamic. Static and dynamic. Under the static, again we have two. Here we have default. Static and default. Under the dynamic, we have two categories. One is interior gateway routing protocol. Another one is exterior gateway routing protocol. IGP. Another one is EGP. EGP. Under the EGP, we have BGP. Yeah, again, BGP, we have two categories. One is IBGP and EBGP that we will discuss future. BGP. Again, in IBGP, there are three subtrees. One is distance vector. This is link state. Link state. Distance vector, link state. Another one is hybrid. Hybrid. Again, in distance vector, there are two. In link state also, there are two. In hybrid, there is only one. In distance vector, RIP. RIP. IGRP. Here in In link state, we have OSPF. Here we have ESIS. Okay, is a routing protocol. I'm not talking here about any other organization which is terrorist organization. The routing protocol which is ISIS. And then hybrid again here EIGRP. Let me put a map here. Under the routing we have two major. One is static, one is dynamic. Under the static we have static route and default route. Okay, under the dynamic we have two interior gateway protocol and exterior gateway protocol. Under the exterior gateway protocol we have BGP. Under the BGP we have IBGP and EBGP, that is internal flavor. In IBGP we have three different lines. It is like a distance vector and then hybrid and then link state. Again in the distance vector we have two branches. One is the RIP. Another one is IGRP. In link state we have two OSPF and ESIS. In hybrid we have AHRP. Okay, now let us discuss about AD value. What is the AD value? In routing, the AD value plays a major role. The AD value is administrative distance. If you see an explanation, okay, administrative distance means okay, it's the trustworthiness of route. Okay, which route is having very lesser number, that route will be chosen as a best route. Okay, that trustworthiness, okay, it should be always less. Okay, that router will be taken as a best route. Okay, if the routes are directly connected, okay, that AD value is 0. For static route, AD value is 1. For RIP, AD value is 120. For IGRP, AD value is 100. For OSPF, AD value is 110. ISIS 115. AHRP, I have three AD values. Okay. For summary routes, it's the AD value of 5. Internal AD value of 90. For external AD value of 170. This we will discuss in detail in AHRP class. What is the summary route? What is the internal route? What is the external route? In BGP, if you take IBGP, it's 200. EBGP, it's 20. These IBGP and EBGP we will discuss in detail while covering a BGP topic. Now these are the tree in the routing part. Now in this static routing especially, okay, we are going to discuss about what is the static routing, why the static routing is required, all those things. The static routing, it means okay, statically the administrator needs to define from where to where this traffic will be passing, all those things. Administrator will design it. It's a very easy to configure when it is a network is very small. Okay, if you have the clear visibility about a network, it's a very easy to configure, but it is a difficult to manage if network is a big, it's a wide. Okay, if in a typical WAN scenario, it is a very hard to manage it. Let me put a lab. Let me show you that. Static routing. We create a new lab. Here we are using EVNG as a tool for a lab preparation. Let me add a router here. I have added a router. Router name I'll give as a router 1. Better to give this name. Okay, otherwise it will easy to for us to understand. Okay, which router we are logging in. Okay, I'm giving as a name here router 1. Or if you want to give us any location, I can give as a Delhi. Router 1 Delhi. I'm giving a name. Is it just for understanding? Okay, it's closed. Again, let me open it. One Delhi. Okay, I have added. Let me add another router. Router 1 Mumbai. Now let me add another router. Router 3 Chennai. See, in EVNG, okay, once the device is powered on, it is we cannot connect the cable. Okay, so before powering on that device, okay, we need to connect the cable. Let me click here, left click, and drag it here. It will ask me, okay, which interface to which interface we need to connect it. Here I am choosing it 0000. Again, from here to here, I need to connect. I'll use the interface as a again. Here I'll use as a GA0/1. Here also I'll use it 0/1. I can use it any of the interface which is available. To for my easier understanding, I'm using as a GA0/1. Here too, I'm using GA0/1. Usually in lab scenario, we let me use see here. I'm going to use as a text as a 192.168 router 122.1/024. I'm using that network here. Here 192.168. This side I'll use as a 192.168.12.1. This side I will use as a 192.168.12.2. Again here I need to use duplicate. Okay. Here I'm going to use as a edit 2 3. Here dot 1. Here dot 2. Here I'll use it 192.168 2.2. Here 23.3. Just for this IP, I'm going to use schemas. I'm going to use it for my understanding. Okay, nothing else. Now here, let me use the 1.1.1.1 enter 2.3. 1.1.1.1. I'm going to advertise here 11.11.11. Here I'm going to use it. This I'm going to create a 2 loopbacks here. Similarly, I'm going to create another 2 more loopbacks here. Whenever we are going to design any network, okay, it's always better to have clear visibility what we are going to do. Otherwise, while configuring, it will make a unnecessary confusion. It will give us a clear roadmap to us, okay, what we are going to configure. That purpose only I am making here text external. Let me start all my devices, make it my lab study. First and foremost in the static routing, we are going to discuss about directly connected static route. Directly connected static route. So we are going to discuss about directly. Okay, what is a directly static connected static route? It means, okay, from here, this is my stub router. If it is my stub router, I can make a default router towards this. What is a stub router? Stub router means, for example, I have here one router. Okay, this router connected to service provider cloud. I don't have any connectivity left here. I don't have any connectivity. Only my LAN is connected here. For the LAN route is my gateway. Okay, it is directly connected to my service provider network. I don't have any other connectivity, my top, bottom, anything. Only my connectivity having to the WAN. My all traffic by default, I need to send it to the WAN only for external world. I no need to send anything any other site. Only one interface is connected. So this device we'll call as a stub device. Stub device in the sense only one exit point. That is a last point. For if you take some example, if you go some of the railway station and all, okay, it will be like a end station. That is the last station. Okay, if a junction means okay, it will be having a connectivity to multiple location. Okay, stub in the sense okay, only it will have only one exit point. Okay, for example, if for those kind of railway station, if train reaches again, it will go same way only. You might be seeing many of the railway stations are like that we have in India. Okay, that is the last station. For example, if India, if you take okay, Dhanushkodi is the in India, it's the last point. Again from Dhanushkodi you have to go to Rameshwaram only. Okay, the Dhanushkodi. Okay, after that if you Dhanushkodi after that if you go here, okay, it is a sea. We have Indian Ocean. Okay, the stub is for the Dhanushkodi we can call as a stub area. Only the entry point for the Dhanushkodi is Rameshwaram. Exit and entry point is both the same. That we'll call as a stub. Here I have the stub router. I can make directly to this interface pointing default route or static route, whatever. Okay, if you specific also we can mention it or default route I can mention it. Towards this interface I can make it. For that, it requires proxy or enabled. Otherwise, route will not work. Okay, it requires a proxy ARP. Otherwise, this route will not work. And then what the proxy ARP is enabled by default in all the routers. Okay. But as a security measure, we will disable the proxy ARP. Okay, that is the best practice also. Okay, to avoid this proxy ARP things and all. Okay, so what is the proxy ARP makes the problem? That also we will discuss here. Directly connected static route leads more ARP entries. What is that more ARP entries? That also we will discuss in the lab. It also we will discuss briefly in the lab. Directly connected static routing leads to more or entries. And then it consider all the networks are directly connected. It will think, okay, it is all the networks are directly connected. Usually, it prefer prefer on see this kind of configuration when we can do is when it is a point-to-point link. Okay, otherwise it's not suggestible. Okay, whenever we are doing this kind of routes, okay, the prefer we can do it on the point-to-point, but not recommended on the any MP. Okay, when there is a multiple, okay, like MPLS kind of link, okay, this point to point only is suggested. Okay, like MPLS kind of setup, it is not recommended. Let me open my lab. Okay, now we are going to do the static routing lab. Let me do the initial configuration of my router 1, Delhi router. Let me, before going to do the configuration, let me prepare a configuration, basic configuration in Notepad. It will be like easier for us to understand. Interface GI 0/0 IP address 192.168.12.1. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. No shut to the interface. And then I need to configure two loopback address, loopback 1 IP address 1.1.1.1. Subnet mask is 255.255.255.255. Another loopback is interface loopback 11 IP address 11.11.11.11 dot sorry 11 255.255.255.255. This router 1 configuration is ready. Let me move to the router 2 configuration. Interface GI 0/0 IP address 192.168.12.2 255.255.255.0 and no shut here as well. Always in Cisco routers, all physical interfaces, if it is a routed interfaces, it will be admin shut by default. If it is a brand new, you need to get unshut it. And then another interface is interface GI 0/1 IP address 192.168.23.2 255.255.255.0. No, here I am not going to do configure any loopback address. Let me add router configure that router. Let me prepare a config interface GI 0/1 IP address 192.168.23.3 255.255.255.0. No. Now I'm going to configure two interface here. Interface loopback 2 2.2.2.2 255.255.255.255. Let me configure IP address here. IP admins IP address. Okay, don't confuse it. It's the IP address. interface, loopback, 22, IP address, 22.22.22.22, 255.255.255.255. Now we have prepared a sample configuration, basic configuration. Okay, let me do the configuration here. Config. Already this router is opened. Why I given a name initial itself? Okay, if you're not giving a name, it will show as the IOIS. It will make us a confusion. That's why while preparing a lab itself, I given a correct name. Config T. Here it. Now I have entered. Here, if I want, I can give host name as well. Let me save the configuration. Let me open a second router. Second router configuration is this only physical interface I'm going to configure. Actually, okay, GNS3 and this tool, I feel this tool is very user friendly. Initial setup, it will be like a bit complex. Okay, once we made this EVNG ready, okay, it is like how we need to look our architecture. Similar way we can make it. We can use all the images very easily, like IO routers, firewalls, switches. In GNS3 and all switches are using it. Switches is difficult. Here we can use the switch image also.
I think also we can download it from
Now
Cisco site also, right?
yes,
CVNG
we can
files.
download it. Yeah, you can download it. It's my Mumbai route. Mumbai is also ready. Let me open this router also. It will take few minutes. Let me, meanwhile, let us configure Mumbai router now. For example, now I'm configuring Mumbai router, static router. IP route to reach 1.1.1.1, 255.255.255.255. Sorry, 192.168.12.1. Similar, we need to configure 1, 1. I have configured here. This is a typical static routing. Okay, IP route with the next hop address. We have configured here. Now we have configured here. Let me do the configuration for Chennai as well. Meanwhile, let me enable a static route here for a default route from here to there. Config T. I'm enabling IP route. Default route I'm enabling 0.0.0, 0.0.0.0. I'm putting as an interface GI 0/0. That is my existing interface. Default route without gateway, if not point-to-point interface, may impact a performance. It's clearly showing as okay, if this is not a point-to-point router, okay, it may impact the performance. Why it may impact the performance? It will be multiple ARP entries, all those things will come into the picture. That's why. Okay, how the multiple ARP entries will come, I'll tell you that as well. Let me complete this Chennai router. Chennai router, host name, Chennai, host name, Chennai. Now let me do the basic configuration of Chennai router. I have done the basic configuration. Here also I am putting as a reverse router on T IP route 0.0.0.0.0.0.0.0 192.168.23.2. 23.2 is the interface of Mumbai router. This interface is 23.2. This interface is 23.3. Now we have configured everywhere. Let me ping a device from Delhi to Chennai. Ping 2.2.2.2 is the loopback address of Delhi. Source interface of source loopback 1. Let me see whether it is pinging or not. Why it is not pinging? It will get now if you put the trace route. I have not configured this second router fully. Okay, from the Mumbai router, I have not configured route for the 2 dot segment. Config T IP route 2.2.2.2 255.255.255.255 192.168.23.3. 3 is my Chennai router. Similar, I need to configure for 22 dot as well. 22 dot 22 dot 22 dot 22. Now, if I ping from my Delhi router, it will ping. It's ping. Why this one drop also? It has to learn a ARP entry and then it has to decide which is my exit interface, all those things. Already exit interface is there. Okay, it has to get a ARP of that exit IP. Let me show you, show IP ARP. Now for 2.2.2, I have got ARP. Okay, again, let me ping a 22. Ping 22.22.22.22. Source the loopback 1. Again it ping. Now let me check a show ARP. For example, if I use the route as a interface, it will learn multiple ARP. If I configure 1,000 IPs, if this is a disadvantage also, I can say, okay, if we configure the static route or default route with a exit interface or next hop interface, it will be huge ARP entries will learn. For example, this is a private network. We can control it with one or two IPs, one or two subnets. If it is ISP network, if we are using the static routing, okay, each and every IPs ARP will be get added. Okay, if ARP is getting added, if lakhs of ARPs are coming, it will be overheaded. It will be overheaded. Router will be overheaded. Okay, the CPU will go ahead. Okay, everything. Again, for each and everything, proxy ARP is required. For example, if I disable a proxy ARP in this router, let me disable a proxy ARP in this Mumbai router. Config T interface GI0/0 interface which is connected to my Delhi router. Now I am giving a command no IP proxy ARP. If I give this command, what will happen? This route will not work out. Let me clear ARP, clear ARP, sorry, clear ARP cache. Now IPR, okay, let me clear the ARP. For this IPs, I'm clearing ARP. Otherwise, with this ARP, it will work. That's why. Now I have cleared the ARP. Let me see. Now no ARP. Let me ping the same IP which was pinging earlier. This Mumbai side, I have removed a no proxy ARP. The no proxy ARP, if you see in all the devices, the no proxy ARP will be get enabled because of various security reasons. Okay, that is a best practice as well with in terms of security. Now I have disabled the proxy ARP in this router. After disabling, okay, if my default route is towards this interface, which is not working. If the same default route, if I'm adding here, instead of this, I'm adding a static route with next hop address, it will work. Let me add a static route 192.168.12.2. Now, if I have removed a interface based directly connected interface static route, now I have enabled a next hop with static route. Now, if I enable like that, if I ping, it will ping. Okay, if you see the R, it will not be having R. Okay, I have mentioned this 12.2 is address. Okay, it will look the IP address or for this address and it will be send it this as a exit interface. If I put this as a interface, okay, for this interface, for each and every route, it has to learn a ARP. Okay, it has to save it in the ARP cache. Everything it has to be enabled. Okay, if other side no IP proxy RP should not be enabled. Okay, proxy ARP should be enabled. What I am trying to say is proxy ARP should be enabled. Otherwise, this will cause a problem.
Proxy ARP, every time we will get the same MAC address only for the same
Yes,
interface.
correct.
But
Yes,
it will
correct.
create an entry for each and every
Each
source
and every
IP
IP.
address, each and every
Destination IPs.
source. Destination IP,
Destination.
correct. Okay,
Yes,
okay, okay,
correct.
got it.
That is the ARP will be entries will be huge. It will make a problem. Earlier I have disabled the ARP here. Let me enable a proxy ARP here. What is this router got crashed or what? Okay. The device got crashed. Just a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'm back. Let me open my Mumbai router. Interface G show run interface GI 0/0. Already I have here disabled the proxy ARP. Let me enable proxy ARP again. By default, all the interfaces, the proxy ARP will be get enabled. Okay, if you want to disable, we need to manually disable that. Let me show run pipeline include route. Now let me change this route back to like earlier with the interface. No. Jig 0/0. Now here itself, while configuring the default route with the interface itself, it is showing clearly if no point-to-point interface may impact the performance. Now let me ping 2.2.2.2 with source IP of loopback of 1. If I'm not giving a source IP, what will happen? It will take exit interface as a source. To avoid those confusion, I'm adding as a source IP as a loopback 1. Now for this IP, ARP is learned for 2.2. Now let me ping a 22.22.22 as a source of loopback 1.
One doubt there.
Yes. Yes.
See, our IP address 192.168.12.2 is the jig 0/0's IP address, correct?
Yes, correct.
No, sorry. It is 2.2 is the other end jig 0/0. So correct, no?
See, yeah, 1.1.1 is here, 2.2.2.2 is here. Okay, the 192.168.12.2 is this interface IP. 192.168.2.1 is this IP. When I am trying to ping 2.2.2.2, it will learn a MAC address of this my interface. Let me show that as well. Okay, now here in Delhi, I have got a MAC address 500.002.
Same.
Yeah, same. Okay, two MAC address also same. So when I am disabling a proxy ARP here, see now I have only two addresses. It is easy for me to maintain a ARP table. If same thing I am doing it in larger service provider environment, okay, I will be having a plenty of MAC address. Correct. It will be overheaded to my router. So ideally, we should configure with the next hop IP address instead of interface. Let me disable a proxy ARP in Mumbai router.
By there, if I disable in the Delhi router itself, what will happen?
See, Delhi router is not providing ARP to Mumbai, right? Here,
okay,
right?
okay.
Mumbai router only providing ARP. That's why.
Yes.
See, for example, vice versa, it means if I am disabling Delhi router, Mumbai router traffic will get impact.
Oh, okay, got it.
No IP proxy ARP. Now we have disabled it. Now if I ping here, it will not get ping. Now it will ping. Why? Because already ARP entry is there. That's why it's pinging. Let me clear ARP. Clear ARP. IP ARP. It will not ping. It will get stopped. So always no proxy ARP should be disabled. We should give the command no IP proxy ARP. That is as per security norm standard compliance. Okay, it is the best practice. So we should avoid this kind. Now, if you see IPR ARP is incomplete. Why? Because this route guy is not giving a ARP. That's why we are getting as an incomplete ARP. He is telling I will not act as a proxy ARP. Like that guy is telling. That's why. Now let me change a routing here. No. Let me do that. No. Now let me enable routing with IP 192.168 on 2.2. Now if I ping, it will get ping. Let me enter. It's pinging. It's pinging to IP or ARP entry also will not be there. ARP entry only will be there for these two IPs, which is a local interface, which is my next hop interface. Okay, I have already given as a next hop interface with the default route. Okay, it is the LAN the MAC. Okay, it will know that what is the my L2 interface, means a physical interface. It will set a traffic. So this is the directly connected static route with a proxy ARP. How it works already now we discussed. Now second, let me discuss about second one. Now recursive route. What is the recursive static route? What is the recursive static route? Anyone have any idea? Let me brief it. The command is same. What we are going to give network address, network subnet mask. Here lost hop IP. It will have single ARP entry which is next hop IP address. Okay, and then it uses double lookup, one for next hop, one for exit interface. Whatever now we have configured with the IP, that is also kind of recursive routing only. Now one in the recursive routing, one more thing we can do it. Let me show you that as well. Now let me add a static route instead of default route in Delhi. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this default route. Config T. No. Given this. Now I'm going to add IP route 192.168.23.0, 255.255.255.0. Same next hop. Next hop is remain same. Okay, what I'm trying to say here, to reach this network means here and there go via this IP. In this interface IP I'm mentioning here. I have mentioned configured here. Now these I don't have route for these IPs. I don't have route for these IPs. I don't have route for these IPs. Now that I need to create it. Now I'm adding one static route config T, already config T only, IP route 2.2.2.2 subnet mask is 255.255.255.255. I'm mentioning is 192.168.2. Again same IP route. These are recursive route. What we are doing is recursive route. 255.255.255.255. Fully specified static route. The fully specified is again it's very simple. Let me show you guys. I want to show all this. Okay, feature what and all is there. Okay, nothing config T. I'm removing everything here. Now I'm going with a fully specified route. 0.0.0.0 See, after this we have these many options. Okay, now I'm going to use the option as exit interfaces GA0/0 and IP address is 192.168.12.2. Now this will make this is the very best practice also what I can say. Okay, what is my exit interface? What is the next hop? Okay, it will give the clear information. There will be no routing overhead anything. It will give the much ahead. The back one. Now it will ping immediately. If we give show IP ARP also, no ARP. Okay, I know what is my exit interface. I know what is my exit next hop IP. Okay, all those things. This is we'll call as a fully specified static route. So what is the stands for this IP route? Okay, the same is like this. Only difference is I need to give exit interface. Okay, next one is floating route. This is floating route. Let me have a scenario here. Let me save the configuration. The floating route is used for only for backup purpose. Okay. Let me. I need to connect the cables. That's why I'm shutting down. Let me use. Stop the device. Stop the device. Okay, I'm making one more link. Okay. Yes. 192.168.122.0/24. Let me power on the router. Let me power on the router. Okay. 222.2. Now another interface is a redundant interface. What I can say is a redundant interface. Let me power on this router as well. It will take few minutes. Let us wait. The floating route is mean. Okay, we are going to change the alter our AD value. That only we'll call it as a floating route. It is for backup purpose. Okay, primarily use this path. Okay, this path is going failed. Okay, use the second path. That is the purpose of that. Let this both the routers get powered on. We'll do the configuration for this thing. We have seen a one is the directly connected route, which we discussed. Second is recursive route. Which we discussed, and then third is a fully static route we discussed, and then now we are going to do the lab for a floating route. Now we have covered the lab for directly connected static route and then recursive static route, fully specified static route. Now we are going to perform a lab for floating static route. Let this device get on. After restarting, it will take a few minutes. We need to bear with that. Meanwhile, let me prepare offline configuration for that. 0/2 IP address 192.168.122.1 55.255.255.0. Enter. No shut. Added one floating. Here I added already one recursive route is there. See here, I have already route. Okay, again one more route I'm adding. For example, I'm adding one more route with this interface. Next stop is 2. If I give the show IP route, see here, I have default route with 1 and 1 this. Let me do trace 2.2.2.2 with the source of loopback 1. Okay, I need to add here also reverse. Okay, here in Mumbai, reverse is a problem. Reverse, it will come in one interface only, right? Now I have to add another static route. So let me add a static route. Reverse, this for reverse. What I'm doing it for reverse. See now, let me put the trace again. Okay. You see here, you said, okay, asymmetric is happening. Echo reply is coming via this also. Ping will happen, definitely ping will happen. I'll show you the ping as well. You're able to notice here? Okay, asymmetric is happening.
Yes.
That's why echo is coming from both the paths. Let me stop this. 2.2.2. 2.1. Will ping without any problem. Now what I'm going to do, route. Now this secondary link which I added, okay, this I'm going to remove. I'm going to tell here I'm going to use as a metric 100. Let me use 100. Now if I give the show IP route, see here, only my primary path is showing. In case my primary link goes down, then only it will show my secondary path. Now opposite side also, what I will do, here also I will change the show IP route. Here also it will show us both the path for 1 and 11. Let me change the, they are also floating route. So whatever floating route in the sense, whatever I am telling, okay, with AD I am changing it, right? That will call it as a floating route. Now let me adjust here also. I'm removing this route. I'm going to add the floating metric of 100. Here this is what is means. This metric is called as a AD.
So
Will not show me as the primary path is there. It will not show. Okay, let me now if you put the trace or anything, it will show as a first path. This will call as a floating static route. We are altering the AD. We'll wait for a few minutes. The trace gets complete. Now what I am going to do, I am going to share my Delhi interface. Delhi to Mumbai primary link. Primary link is this. If I share this, so IP route if you give, it will change to a secondary path, which is 100. AD value is 100. This is the AD value, this is the metric. Okay, AD is 100. I made a primary link shutdown now. I made a primary link shutdown. Okay, AD is 100. It's taken as a secondary link. Okay, if you see the previous output, before we are shutting down, it has taken a default route with the primary path. AD is a 1, metric is a 0. By default for static route, AD value is 1. Now for the secondary path, we have changed as a 100. The primary path for this 0 to 0, okay, AD value is 0, sorry, 1. Okay, the secondary path AD value is 1. Okay, for that we have configured. Now I made this path as shutdown. I made this path as a shutdown. Traffic is flowing via this path. Now let me make a steady state. Now if I make a steady state, show IP. Okay, the path again it will come to the primary path. Primary path is 12.2.
Thanks for watching NetTalks Tamil. Please like it, share it, subscribe it. If you have any doubts, please get in touch with me or YouTube channel comments. I'll address those questions.